Many of you are all too familiar with what happened in Tampa in 2012 with the Republican National Convention. With the help of his teleprompter, Speaker of the House Boehner was able to pass a rules change that drastically undercuts the power of the grassroots effort. This video is not about that, though. It's about what happened next at the next RNC meeting in California. The group met in LA, and this is what did pass: the Henry Barber Smokescreen Amendment. This was an amendment to the language of Rule 16A2. The argument in favor of the amendment is that it was necessary in order to ease fears that future presidential candidates may have the ability to exercise veto power over elected delegates. Recall, however, that the RNC Rules Committee had struck the presidential veto powers aspect before the 2012 rules went to a final vote, making this amendment absolutely unnecessary. The passed amendment also includes a loophole to the presidential veto powers prohibition, stating that the presidential candidate may exercise veto power over the delegates in circumstances where the individual state's rules allows for it. So by basically changing the state rules, you in effect have made this amendment absolutely pointless. Let's talk about what did not pass the RNC. The Jeff Johnson Amendment striking 16A1. Rule 16A1, one of the 2012 power grabs, effectively undermines the purpose of the caucus process. The rule binds RNC delegates to the result of the state's presidential straw poll or preference poll, essentially turning the caucus states into primary states, and making the campaign process much more expensive for candidates working to win the vote within those states. The proposed Johnson Amendment would have completely eradicated this rule, giving the power back to the most active grassroots participants of the early voting caucus states. While the Johnson Amendment passed the Rules Committee with great support by a vote of 39 to 20, the amendment was sent to the General Session for a final vote, where it failed before the entire body of the RNC by a vote of 107 to 49. After the adjournment of the General Session, an email was sent to the RNC committee members on behalf of Reince Priebus, recapping the vote results. This email portrayed the failure of the Johnson Amendment as a positive, stating that the amendment would have allowed for a beauty pageant presidential nomination. That Reince Priebus considers the caucus process to be a beauty pageant is an insult to the states who have a history and tradition of trusting their most active and informed grassroots activists to exercise personal discretion in representing their state. Another amendment that failed to pass was the Morton-Blackwell Amendment. Morton-Blackwell's amendment called for the RNC Rules 1 through 11 and 13 to 25 to revert back to their 2008 form. The amendment failure was especially devastating to the grassroots because of the fact that 2 Rules Committee members were the deciding factor in killing this amendment in committee, rather than bringing the amendment forward for discussion before the entire body of the RNC. The amendment failed by a Rules Committee vote of 25 to 28. But the fight is not over yet. There's an active grassroots resolution that is being passed around the internet that should be presented to the summer meeting of the RNC in Boston, Massachusetts. Please go to the site listed below and sign the petition. As soon as you sign the petition, an email will automatically be sent to your representatives to the RNC for your individual state. The information gathered by libertyroll.com is not used for any other purpose than to demonstrate the grassroots support for this resolution. That is it. We will not sell this information. We will not use this information for any other purpose. So go to the link at the bottom of this image or go to libertyroll.com for more information. This isn't over until the grassroots says it's over.